Today I got the honor to talk to Luna Design Studios. This team is about family, unity, and hard work. And in this podcast, they describe what it was like to start their business during 2020, during the worst time, push through those hard times, and now they're looking to take their company to another level. Before we get started with the podcast, here's a quick word from our sponsors. First sponsor is OC Granite and Tile. It's a construction company here in the Coachella Valley. Over 17 years of experience servicing residential, commercial, whether it's a bathroom, a flooring remodel, a kitchen remodel, an outdoor patio, a fireplace. OC Granite and Tile is here to help, so make sure you guys message them on Instagram. Our next sponsor is Mainline Production, media, brand building, or you want to take your business and have an online presence so you could generate more revenue to your business, or you want to get more eyeballs, or you're an influencer and you want to reach a higher level, let us know. We got videos with millions and millions of views. It's cool. It's cool that people are enjoying the videos, bringing a lot of value, high quality content. So let us know. Mainland Productions, our sponsor for this video as well. Check out the website, send us a message on Instagram. Just good energy, good vibes, all 2025. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Now enjoy this episode with Luna Design Studios.
Like authentic, like
camera ready and say the right things. And
the word media ready has, like, we've been talking so much about being media ready and like and more delivering like delivering a narrative that we're comfortable with putting out there. But it's like, well, then there's no filter. Like, how do you create a filter? I think that's what it is.
I don't think there's a filter anymore. I think what social media is just like, that's it. It's just it's who you are now. Yeah. And people don't care. People are worried about themselves. Like, you think they're watching your video, but it's like the whole time they care about their problems. They might not like that piece of content or the way you say a certain thing, but then the next two pieces of content they're going to enjoy or whatever, so
say your controversial shit, bitch.
All right, here we go. So
YOLO, just say it.
Just say it.
I think I just ramble. Like, that's the thing. Like, you just ramble.
No, what you do is you go like, you start, like you got a straight line, and then you end up going this way, and then this way, and then this way, and I have to be like, hey, bring it back.
Bring it back to the point.
Yeah, bring it back.
You guys have to just let me fly.
We just make fun of her. We like a dog that's distracted. We're like, squirrel. She's like talking. She's like, we're like, wait.
Yeah, I think that's just a personality thing. Like, it's just, you're just on to the next one, and you didn't close the subject because something else came up.
Your mind is just fucking on this, and then the next
Yeah.
problem, and the next task. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it works, though.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way to have a creative business is like, your mind has to be free.
Yeah. I think that's what we've learned, like, creatively. Like, as soon as we allowed ourselves to just play, and we know how to do things, and we know the skill, but as soon as we start playing with the concept or allow ourselves to like develop an idea a little bit more, it totally, you build something that you're really excited about, and then that's when I feel like people really, things really resonate with our audience, or with like, I don't know, like maybe something that somebody never thought would be great for their event, but then because we did it and they saw it done to an extent that we're really excited about, then they are excited about that too. And that's really, really fun. Like, to see like a concept that started and to see it develop on a large scale, that's so freaking cool.
It is really cool.
And they trust you, because you show them. They know you do good work, so you're like, hey, I think we do this.
But it doesn't start as good work. It's like, we just start with a bunch of stuff.
If they could see the behind the scenes, right?
Oh, the behind the scenes is the best. Like,
do you guys ever record behind the scenes content? You guys do time lapses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We do. No, I think we thought about like miking everyone up just like while you're installing, but then we're like, I don't know if we can show this. Back to like the whole raw thing. It's like your thought process.
It's too raw.
And then like I feel like a lot of us like think out loud. So as we're doing things, it's like we get to an install, we know what the concept is, but we don't know what the fuck we're doing. So then as we're putting it together, we're like, oh no, like that looks like shit. Or like, and we start moving things around. It's like, if people really heard all of that, they'd think like, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
We do know what we're doing, but at the moment we don't know what we're doing. We just know where we're going.
And so we're all family too, so we could be a little less filtered too, so we can be a little more raw and be like, especially, this is my wife, so she.
The fuck is that?
Yeah.
You didn't think to cover that? Like, those are the conversations that
And I come to my sister and be like, what the fuck what's she thinking? Like, what the fuck, what are we doing here?
No, and I'm totally in the middle. Like I sometimes like Luna's saying something and I totally get what she's saying, and Ricky's like does not understand at all what's happening, and or sometimes it's the other way around. I'm like understanding what Ricky's saying, and Luna's like on the other end. I'm like, what? No, like this is what we're saying.
But you take a step back and you're like, all right, handle it. You got it. Somebody understands it. And then you come back and you look at it. But it's not pretty until it's pretty. Yeah. Like it doesn't look great until
It looks great.
you give it that stamp of approval and you're like, all right, we're done. And then you walk away, because at that point you've already satisfied what our level of satisfaction is, and nobody else's. Because in reality, our clients don't sign on to a design. Like, everything that we do is so subjective. So they just sign on to an idea, or maybe to an enthusiasm, or to trust in what we do. They never sign on to like, this is the exact thing that you're doing for me, because we're working with materials that a lot of people don't understand how to work with. But it's our responsibility to deliver a concept, and that can blow up in our face if we didn't understand what their vision was and we delivered what was not for them. Or it could be the best thing ever, where you blow their minds because they had no idea what you were going to do. So it can go both ways. And we always shoot to please ourselves. And then because of that, then you're always like creating something that you can like proudly stand by. Regardless of what the invoice price is, regardless of what the item list of like material you had, a lot of times it's like, this didn't come in the way we wanted it, just look for X, Y, and Z. Or like a second, third, fourth trip to the market because the thing didn't work. And nobody knows that. And nobody should know that, because it's your responsibility to deliver a great product or like a great design. And to get there, that's the best part. People see the finished products, and we're seeing the finished products with a whole different understanding of what it took to get there. And that brings so much, that's just so rewarding. It's the best.
Delivering something badass. Like, the client doesn't, sometimes, at least when we do videos too, on our perspective is like, they don't care what camera we use or what frame rate, or, we have all these different equipment to create great products, but they just want a good video. They just want something that's going to blow their minds, as something that they remember.
Trusting your eye.
They know they hire you for reasons. Like, okay, this is kind of what I want, these are ideas that I have. Can you make this happen, and then you just go for it.
That's probably why time lapses work so well for us, because you don't really see everything. You just see like this process, the beginning, and then it's quick, and then you see the end, and it's like, whoa, only if it was that fast.
I think you guys made a post that said, like, I wish it was this fast, or I wish it was as fast as it looks in video, because it was like a 30-minute time lapse.
Because somebody made a comment one time to us, like we were installing. I think it was like someone that we had hired. And we were doing it, and they were watching the process, and they're like, wait, this looks a lot faster. I remember like watching the videos, like the company videos, this seemed a lot faster. It's like, yeah. Yeah, it's like sped up, like crazy. Fast forward. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is a lot of people see what we do, and they see the end, they see the pretty, right? And, oh, you know what, I want to try, like, next time you have an event, I'll come and help out. Okay, you'll come help out. They'll come and they'll maybe work one day, and they see, how intense it actually is to get to that finished product, and they're like, whoa, like, this is some real work.
That's the last time we see you.
I'm good with just watching the videos online.
How many people are in your team right now?
Oh, we have, so in our peak season, we're about 25 employees. I think right now we're like at 18. Yeah. But yeah, 25 to 30 employees, yeah.
And we have some great on-call or people, like seasonal.
Yeah, we have some seasonal people that come and help us on weekends, and, our busy time. But yeah, we got a solid 19 full-time employees.
Oh, that's super sick. Yeah. And okay, so let's take it back from the beginning. Like, how did everything start? So you mentioned that you had your parents had a floral shop. And
So 92. They had 3 business partners, and they just went their separate ways, and my mom and my dad did it on their own. They already knew what they were doing, but they continued and kept investing, and we grew up in the business. So, Lucero and I, everything from like cleaning buckets to everything you can think of, breakdowns.
It was a chore.
Bows.
Like, it's called the shop. Like, to us, that's what we call it, the shop. But it was always like you were expected to go to the shop. We were there more than we were at home, honestly.
Yeah.
And then literally, I make it a joke. I tell my mom, like, you literally bred us just to be here because that's where we grew up and we were expected, even when we were in college, it's like you're expected to come home on the weekends. It's like, what? No, I want to stay here and like party. She's like, well, you want money for the week? Then this is what you're going to do.
You want to eat and gas money?
Yeah.
Well, then this is what it's going to take.
Where was the shop at?
In Palm Desert off of Sago Lane.
By that Jensen's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the shop still no longer around?
No, so we moved. That was the original. That was the original place, but we moved the shop to another location off of Dinah Shore, and then our second location on Dinah Shore. So that that happened through the course of 25 years or so.
Yeah. We outgrew it. We outgrew it so fast. So it was a flower shop, and then it started kind of becoming more like it was like everyday things, like a lot of corporate events, and then it little by little it was just like florals for weddings, but then it wasn't just the florals for the wedding part. It was like, hey, we at weddings you see all the normal things, you see all the vases, you see all the candles, you see all these little things that are everywhere. So my dad started investing more and more
in fabrications too.
Right, like adding more and more. So it started like little, and then it was like I could build this. My dad's a welder, and my mom does upholstery, and everyone just kind of, if you don't know, it's like just YouTube certified. Yeah. So it's like just learning and growing. So we outgrew it super fast, and I feel like that's kind of what the culture is now for us still. It's like anything we see, we're like, we could build this, we could learn this, we can, like if we see it somewhere, it's like, let's just do it.
And that's why even the word studios really is fitting to us, because we are where we are right now, but every studio or every department in the company is going to grow. So there is a workshop, like there is a marketing department, there's so many different departments. There's the branding, there's all these departments that are going to grow. Obviously, one of the main ones is floral. You have rental, then there's textile. So all of these departments, like they all have their area, they all have the person that mans them, and we're consistently growing, and everybody basically knows how to navigate every part of all the other departments. So everybody that works for the company, and I mean, we have such an amazing team, really, like we can't say that enough, but everybody that works for the shop or for the company, they're versatile, and not only versatile, but our culture is very much like family, and we want to come and we want to be in a space where you're welcome to grow, and you're welcome to like learn other things and bring in what you've got. Like, what are you excited about? Like, what do you do? And it really does. I think it adds to where we started, where it is very much family, but it's just grown to like it's grown a lot more since then. And
then you said you started in 2020, the official Luna Design Studios. Is that when everything started officially, or how did it go from like the shop to where you are when you started this company? So officially, I went to school. So I went to college when I graduated, and then after I graduated, I came back just for a short time. But honestly, I've always loved it. Like I've always really enjoyed it for one reason or another. I ended up staying, but that's when, and that was in 2006. So since 2006 to 2020, I had always been maybe more client-facing and designing and expanding and doing a lot. And then during the pandemic is when my mom decided to retire, and then that's when we bought the company from my mom. So it was scary as shit, because during the pandemic.
Yeah, during the pandemic, like we literally had every single one of our events cancel, and so you're sitting there with an empty calendar of events and not knowing where you were gonna go next. And we're like, no, fuck it, let's just like dive right in and let's invest everything we've got into it. And we're so happy that we did.
What did you guys do during those few? So it was like March 12, 2020 when everything shut down. Like, what was like what do you guys?
Let me tell you.
Tell them where we were.
What was it when you guys?
I'll take this one.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to get that thought process.
So I was still working my job. I worked for the telephone company for 15 years. So during that, I was still working. I was still doing both. I was attempting to do both. And I mean, everything shut down. We decided we're going to buy the company, and there was nothing at all to do. Even there was no events.
Tell him where we were March 12th.
Oh, March 12th.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We were
in Tulum.
We were on a flight. We were
going to our bachelorette party in Tulum. So we land in Tulum
with our closest friends
and
ready
family.
to party. Our face off.
Yeah, so we land, and I think we're in Cancun the first night, right?
The email, like the online blast that went out that's like, California is going on lockdown. We're like, what does that mean? Like, what is the word lockdown?
We're like Googling pandemic. What is a pandemic?
Yeah, like what's closed? We're like, the kids are still at school. We're like, whatever. But we had masks on and gloves that he brought from his work.
That's true. That's true.
And we're like,
So-
save these because these are good
It wasn't
ones.
until that first night that we woke up, right, in Cancun, where it was all over the news, where I don't even
Shelves were empty at stores.
Yeah, where everything was gone, so they were starting to shut down. There was even rumors of us being trapped in the country. You know, we talked to her parents. We're like, no, you know what, we're good. Like, we went to the store. We got everything we need. Like, what are you guys going to do here? There's nothing to do here. You might as well stay there and enjoy yourself.
You guys stayed for a little bit? Or?
No,
we
we
did.
did.
We
Are you
did.
kidding me?
Oh, yeah,
we
we
were
stayed.
thriving.
I mean,
We
there
were
was
having
plenty
the
of toilet
best
paper
time.
out there. Out
Yeah.
here, they're like, toilet paper's out. Like, you can't find it on the shelves. And it's, you know, my parents were like, we stocked up on toilet paper, and we're thinking, what? We were at a day club.
Yeah,
in
the
Tulum.
beach clubs were stacked with toilet paper.
Stacked. I'm talking about, there was like a big old pole, and then there was like stacks of toilet paper, and I'm like, well, it hasn't gotten here yet. We're good.
You know what the funny part is? When we came back, tell me why I smuggled a whole suitcase full of toilet paper.
He's not lying. Thin ass toilet
But it was
paper
a thin ass
too.
Mexico toilet paper where like one wipe and that shit's done.
So that's where we were marched
Yeah,
off.
that's where we
Yeah.
were.
But it was their wedding. Their wedding was supposed to be like April 4th. So they were part of the whole wedding that it was like
Ironic, yeah.
that it was like
our
they
wedding
were
ends
like,
up getting
oh, is it
canceled.
gonna get postponed, whatever. They were like on opposite ends. Ricky was like, I don't know, I think we need to go back and like figure this out. Luna was like, what?
Bring
It's
the
the
kids.
boat day.
I'm like, I am not.
Yeah, Luna's like, today is the boat day. Like, we're not leaving. We're gonna go on this boat. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. And then some people ended up leaving the trip early, and some ended up extending the trip. Like, they're like the same mentality as like us. They're like, oh, you know,
We're
the
already
kids
here,
are
fuck.
fine. Like, everybody's stocked up. Like, we're good. And then, yeah, it was. So when they got back, they had to figure out their wedding situation. Like, invites were out. Everything was ready. Everything was
Yeah,
set.
everything was done. Everybody was paid. We were literally gonna come back and just have the wedding. And
They sent postponed emails. Like, just thinking it was going to be 2 weeks because it was like,
Oh, 2
California's
weeks,
locked
yeah.
down for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's
Then we
like,
get
all
back to
right,
normal.
we're fine.
Yeah.
And
We thought we would
then
be fine. And
here we are 4 years later.
but yeah,
we still haven't had our wedding. Well, actually, we had a small COVID wedding, but we still haven't had our.
Proper wedding that you wanted. Well, now that you've grown as a business, now that I can't even imagine what the wedding's gonna look like. After the Great Gatsby party, I'm just like, wow.
You know what? It'd probably be more simple than that wedding. I mean, than that party. I don't know. I think it hasn't happened yet, but it will at some point.
Yeah,
And we're
in
not
its due
stressing it.
time,
I feel
yeah.
like we celebrate life quite a bit, and like we have a lot of fun. We just haven't had the wedding for one reason or another. It just hasn't happened, but it will happen one day.
And what about as a business owners? How stressful was it having all your events canceled and the uncertainty of when it's gonna open? They don't allow gatherings of more than like 20 people. You know.
You know, it was really, really ugly. It was really ugly. It was. I was dealing with the pandemic as a bride, so touching base with my vendors and like we had already paid everything. So there were vendors that were from one extreme to the next, and I was also a vendor that was talking to clients about their canceled weddings. So that was like, I was seeing how certain vendors were acting, and I'm like, okay, don't be like that, you know, be like this. And so we try to do everything as fair as possible. Obviously, that doesn't mean you're in the most financially secure place by doing that, but there were vendors that were so kind and so sweet that it was like, okay, I'm not the only one out there that feels this way. There are other vendors that are, like Claudia Luda, who we were just talking about. Our wedding was supposed to be at her ranch. And she was so kind, and she's like, I can either hold or postpone or whatever it is that you like. And it was such a kind way to be. And I think that you had the opportunity to show your true colors. And I think the pandemic did that for a lot. Like the pandemic really brought out.
Revealed
Your true
the
colors.
humans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On a deeper level.
Yeah,
They
it
are,
really
you know.
did.
Oh, yeah.
And so collecting whatever deposits, there's people that still hold our deposits that we no longer recommend at all, that, you know, we're actually pretty sour, but whatever. After that was dealing with the business. And on the business front, I mean, we're a family and we all work together. So it was like trying to figure out what we were doing as a family and like how we were going to handle all of this. It was hard. It was really, really hard. It was really hard. But then when it came down to it, my parents just decided to take a step back, and we were 100% in, and this wasn't the end of us, you know. And so we purchased the business from them, and since then it's been, you know, it's been the best investment that we've ever been able to make, and we're still continuing to invest and continuing to grow. And the company is nowhere near at the level that we want it to be, so we're just constantly, like, you know, giving it our best. And you know, it's yeah, I'm gonna go off on a tangent now. I don't know where I'm going with it.
A lot of
No,
it
but
was,
I think she's minimizing too what she really did to kind of get through that. I mean, you had to pivot, you had to figure out a way to still generate some business. You know, so what she did is you know, thought of, okay, well, you know, they went to the small gatherings. Okay, well, let's focus on like a small event, a micro event was what we called it, right? Yeah. Micro weddings. I mean, we had events with like 12 people. Yeah. You know, we do, you know, we've done events with sometimes like 500 people, and you go to 12 people. So, yeah. I mean, we shifted and we made it through. So
we rebranded for sure.
And a lot of things was like shipping too, like that we started like basically an event in a box or a dinner in a box. And you're just like shipping things out, like linens, napkins, like anything, like sometimes even flowers, like just learning how to ship all that stuff out to our clients to not lose that. But
even the relationship, or at least like staying relevant, or being available, or being top of mind, or like, you know, people are seeing that you're still here, you're still doing something. And that was, I feel like from a marketing standpoint, we absolutely love marketing. Like, I think that's one of the things.
Yeah, your social media is super cool.
We
Who
love
posts
it.
on social media for you guys?
Thank you.
You guys post all together?
Yeah,
all
in-house. Yeah, we have a team. We have a team in-house, but I think collectively, like as a team, we put so much heart into every single thing that we do, and we might overthink things, but it really does feel like us, and that's what's the most important thing. And when it starts to nod, or maybe like an idea that doesn't really resonate, like we pivot and we all contribute, honestly. Like, it's like, all right, who has a good caption for this? What's the first thing that you think? And like just showing something, and then you get a great response from somebody, you know? So I think collectively, everybody that works for the company really understands that, you know, gathering content, or, you know, shooting, or sort of like building that, I think gathering content is like really big for everybody.
And on the content team, do you guys shoot everything, or how's the process of capturing the content? Like, do you guys have like cameras? Do you guys do everything on the phone, or you guys just use some of the photographers? Because I see you guys tag venues and photographers. I love that you guys, anytime you guys post anything, it shows you who was a designer, decorator, blah, blah, blah.
Spread the love.
You have to, yeah. And it means a lot. Honestly, it means a lot. I think that we've been fortunate that our following is pretty large, and we've been fortunate that like we can share that platform with anybody else that partners with us on events. So like, why not share everybody's information and like put them out there also.
But we do have in-house, like it's just, to be honest, it's our iPhones, and a lot of them are our old phones. So we've had like, you just upgrade a phone.
Call them the burner phones.
So we call them burners.
Who's got the
burner?
burner?
I'm like, hey, I have 2 old phones that you could use. I'm like, who on my burner? So it's like, it's literally just a combination of like mine, Luna, and Ricky's like old phones that the team just has, that you had to like delete your nudes from so they don't see. And then that's what we use. But the photographers that we work with, like at venues and things like that, we've just either worked with them so many times in the past, or we just introduce ourselves. It's like, hey, like I'm Luna, or I'm Lucero, or I'm Ricky, like, you know, I'm the lead for this. Like, what's your handle? Like, so we can tag each other, like, and that's basically it, and just share images.
But we do, as far as like gathering content, it's on site when there's a team that's there. Depending on, we know what the event is going to be, so then we'll make sure that we have like a marketing person there, that we're allocating time to gather content, or even connect with a photographer or content creator that is actually hired for the event, and get content from them. When we do campaigns for like special drops for the shop, which is a branch of what we do now, but that is now specifically like occasional arrangements, or like arrangements that you can
order, yeah.
So that part, like that, those are actual campaigns. We do use our phones. I think it's just so easy to use our phones, and there's such good quality, but we are trying to upgrade as much as we can. I think it's just so easy to use an iPhone.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
And the quality is so good, and for what we're doing, like it's not, you know, large scale. For us, it's like a phone, it's for like social media. I mean, I guess if we were doing magazine ads, then we'd need higher quality stuff, but that's not the case.
No, and the system we've created already, like everything we do is Apple products, so it's so easy. Like once you have it, you just airdrop, you just share, it's all like just
Seamless.
one. Yeah, it's
a
so
seamless
easy.
experience, and making it easier because sometimes you shoot on a camera and then you got to edit and you got to do this, and it just takes so much time, and you already have like 7 events coming up, so you don't have time to be focusing time. How far advanced are you guys booked, like throughout the years? Like how many events do you guys have?
I don't even know how many events we have, honestly. Like I think there's
now I think we're booked up to like spring of 2025.
Yeah, I guess our team is also growing. So the word booked up means that you can't take on any more events, and that's normally not the case. So because our team is growing and we're constantly,
you're able to handle multiple events on the same day?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, we can handle up to 4, if not, depending on the event. And we're doing like smaller rental orders, or like, so depending on the scale of things, like Lucero does all of our operations, so she's able to schedule out and like really like work the schedule on. I mean, you can speak on what you do, but that's like, I think it's an art. I don't know, my brain doesn't work like hers, and I see it and I'm like, I could not be able to handle the logistics of a team, and you go here and the timing and I don't do that.
It all like, so going back to like where my parents started and like, when I became Luna Design Studios. So a lot of it was old school way, like just working like como like tiempos de rancho, not like that to that extreme, but it was like my parents, it's like just work. It's like, there's no such thing as like breaks. There's no such thing as like hours, like 9 to 5, like what the hell is that kind of a thing? Right. So there's this newer way of thinking where it's like, now it's like have like this work-life balance. So then now we're creating that part of it. So it was always like arguing and fighting. It's like, Luna with the marketing thing. She was always like bumping heads with my parents about the marketing thing. And then my parents just didn't understand it. It was just a waste of money. They didn't understand, the social media thing. And Luna's like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is what's going to help us. And so when it became
back in like Facebook times, like
right.
This is like back, like even MySpace. I remember,
yeah,
like way back.
It was like Tumblr days, like all the things, like Pinterest. You had to like request to like be approved on Pinterest or something.
I forgot about that, but that's true.
And so then Luna, when Luna took over, it was Luna Design Studios. It was just kind of trying to stay away from all of that, because we had all lived this whole work till you're burnt out. Like, you're working all day installing from like super early in the morning till running from that first event to maybe the second, third event. And then you just break to just eat somewhere, and we would all go as a team to like the nearest marisco spot, have like a couple beers and eat, and then go back to like pick it all up. And then you'd go, once again, you'd go break. Yeah, you'd break down all the events. So then it was like, you know what, we're not doing that. So our goal was to not have, it was like no burnout, like at all.
Streamline and make it a system where everything
Yeah. So then we're like, we're doing this. So we're going to do this, and that's our goal, and we're going to do it. Like, so the team, even though we have more events now, so I joined the company full-time like a year and a half ago. And
what were the first steps that you did to organize everything?
That it was like, I'm going to schedule everyone out, like, like understand everyone's strengths, like know who was like the good lighting person, the good textile person, the good, all the things. And it's like, because they could be like the team, we love the team, and you could be super strong in the warehouse, like pulling, prepping and doing things, but then you need a whole different mindset when you're actually installing. So when you're installing, you have to have like this different mentality of like
urgency.
Yes.
Like efficiency.
Working. Like working at this pace without looking like you're working at a pace, because your client's watching you and they don't want you to look like you're panicking. So you kind of understand more or less like, okay, this person's great. Like they're enough for like 2 people. So you just kind of, I just learned the team, and I got to work with everyone like individually and just started scheduling everyone out. And then, as great and creative as Luna is, I was like, dude, I'm pulling you from installs. Like, you're not as helpful as installs, because she was that person that she's all over the place. So she's like, I have to run this to this event. I have to run here, run there, like to just make sure everything's good. And clients like expect to see Luna at their events. Yeah. So it's like, she just has to show face. So it's like, hey, I'm going to just pull you from events. So just expect that nobody's going to expect you there. Like, we have to have a team solid enough to like
cover the whole thing
without you being there. Yeah. So it was just that. And then we just started like telling the team, hey guys, we're going to need more leads. So whoever wants to lead and just take, ownership of wherever you are. And
incentivizing leading too. Like there's reasons to be a lead. And I think that also given that opportunity or, given a path to like grow is also really positive for the team too. And for anybody that wants to learn more. So now you're seeing team members that are looking to like really like grow creatively or in whatever facet they're interested in, and they're really taking an interest to that. So then they're able to commit themselves to whatever it is that is. And it's actually so beautiful and rewarding to see somebody who's been working really, really hard at that and finally get it and like see them just like do great at it, killing it, and everybody there is like rooting them on.
It's so cool to see, like, because we're very much a startup. Like I feel like we have that startup mentality where we're not scared of errors. We're not scared of like trial and error. So anyone that's like, I'm down to lead this event, and if it goes to shit, it's like, cool. It didn't work out. So you know what I mean? We're not mad. Nobody's mad. It's like, now we learned, and it's like, that's it. It's like, all right, what could we do better for the next one? And that's it. It's literally just learning and growing from it.
And on the flip side of that, one of the most rewarding things is when we have an event and not one of the three of us is there, and it goes off,
and you don't get a call,
without a hiccup. You don't get a call, nothing. You don't hear about it till Monday morning when we recap, and it's like, wow. Like we got to the point where we have a team that's solid enough where we don't have to be at every event.
If we get a chance to recap, because a lot of times you're just the turnover and you're on to the next event.
It's amazing. It's really cool, and we do it quite a bit where we take a step back and we really appreciate the team that we have, because they're able to pull off an event, at the scale that we pull off events, and it's great.
And I think one of the reasons why we're able to do that now is, to Lucero's point about the mindset is different. It's no longer just trabajar a lo pendejo. Like it's not that anymore. It's systems and processes and communicating about the things that didn't go right and that we could do better internally. Like nobody else had to know the scramble that happened, and the scramble doesn't matter. What matters is that when you regroup, then you're like, all right, that didn't work because this fell through the cracks, and maybe this is a point, this is like a soft spot or like a weak spot for us. So like let's get this or like this tool or this process or whatever to make it better the next time. And that I think is so valuable, and I think that that's the reason why we're able to systemize what we do and like do it better every single time. And to the point that it's like it just turns into like second nature, and you're like, all right, so and so is doing this install, then whoever's doing that, they know that this is what you're going to need. But then there's also a backup and a software that we have that these checks and balances of things that you should have.
What software do you guys use to stay organized when it comes to?
We went through this whole. We use a lot.
But for our actual inventory, like our warehouse, we use this program called Good Shuffle. Good Shuffle. Yep, yeah. And last summer, summer 2023, yeah. We spent like the entire summer going through our entire inventory, taking pictures and adding it into this program. So we're like, even if it doesn't work, we're gonna make it work. We spent so much time like into it, and everything
it's expensive. It is not.
Yeah, you pay per team member that's on there. We have our entire team on there, and it does work out. It's so cool because you could check things out and then you check things back in, so it kind of keeps everyone on track of things. And you could just, honestly, I think it's great.
Yeah, no, it is. It's great. That's the software that we use to keep our inventory. And then there's, the other software that we were talking about that is for like, the creative thinking, or then, our sales like CRM program. And then you've got Asana for like task management and like all of those things. So there's every team sort of like has a different strength in software. So
it's true. Every department uses a different software.
Yeah, but that's the thing that if this team needs to communicate in some way, well then this is a better software for them. So let's invest time and effort into that. And I think just being able to communicate those things and not point fingers, but find solutions, and very much having a solution-based like culture, and not pointing fingers or like bringing people down. I think that's like pretty important to us.
You're gonna solve problems, and especially when it's 3 events at the same time. They don't have time for you to make a phone call like, "Hey, this is going bad." Like,
right?
Like, no, this is going bad. How do I fix it?
And we get one chance, one opportunity, one day.
Like some of the worst.
Yo.
This is the next batch rate. It was Raptree.
Yeah, no, we have a company motto. We have a few, but one of them is that, like, bring solutions,
tell
not
my secrets.
problems.
It's come. The mixtape comes.
Stay tuned, guys.
What's the worst thing that has happened like at events? Like, I don't know, like,
Worst thing.
or what are some things that you're like, damn, I can't believe that happened. You know, try to avoid these.
I mean, there's been instances with us. Our number one enemy is always the wind.
Yes,
The wind. And I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, there's been instances where walls like that we set up have fallen. Luckily, it's never been on anybody. But I mean,
Do you guys like have like on your contract with the clients, like the act of God they call it?
yeah.
The act of God. You
Act
can't
of
control
God.
who's weighing.
And also, our product is super heavy duty, and we've been able to, like, it's withstands a lot, right? Like, we haven't had to, like, take anything down except one event. We did have to take it down because it was crazy. Like, at this point, like, one of the venues, like, they had all their catering, like their silver trays and platters and things. That was blowing over. It was like flying off the DJ's equipment. Like, everything was flying over. So when it gets to that point, it's like, okay, now it's like a safety hazard for everyone. Yeah. That was the only time and when it gets to that point, it's like, all right, cool. Like, this is not going to work. We need to really pivot and figure out what works. Yeah.
And the client refused to go indoors. So I think that it makes us think about what is safe for us versus what the client wants us to do. Because if wind gusts are over 35, you're not going to be outdoors doing anything. Like, because the gust went over 35, we have the right to pull from this and like not be out here, because really, like, there's times when there's a tree falling on us. Like, there's
that literally happened.
A ladder fell on my head. Like, and no, like, there's times when you're out there and
Or the drape. Remember the drape blew down inside the ballroom. Somebody left the door open inside of a hotel. The gust blew into the ballroom and all the drape came.
But that's the same day that the window blew into the bride's room.
Yeah.
Like, the entire window blew into, like,
Broke the window. Yeah.
it broke in. Like, it was insane. And you're out there still trying because it's a wedding. Like, you can't fail. Like, and that mentality is like, you can't, like, you just keep going. That was hard.
It's the wind. For sure, it's the wind. And then on top of the wind, it's like having the client who's going to cooperate with you and understand. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like, this looks pretty bad. Or it's going to be that client that's like, nope, this is your fault. And it's like, what? We have no choice of the wind, you know? Yeah. So it's just, I think, the wind and then how the client is going to.
Yeah, but all in all, we've been pretty fortunate where we haven't had anything major happen to us.
Yeah. And for the most part, like, if there's a recommendation given, the client will take it, and then, you know, it's very little the times that we get to be in a situation where there's nothing that we can do to help, or like there's nothing that we can do to like fix or, you know, find alternate solutions, or we have a lot of product in house, so if it's not this, then we'll replace it with whatever else. So there's always solutions on top of solutions. There's always options, and so it's very little when we get to a point where there's nothing we can do. But for wind, there's really like nothing.
Yeah, no, you can't control, especially here in the valley with we get the super high winds.
Yeah.
It just ruins everything.
Yeah.
Like from festivals to, I'm pretty sure other parties. I mean,
And they come like equipped with crazy stuff, like for the festivals. And even they have like all these like things happen during Coachella and like during the festivals. And, you know, our product is not to that level, but you know, we try.
And we're always so fascinated. Anywhere we are, like if we're at a festival and we're watching them, or like a musical, like a Broadway show, we're so fascinated by like
just the stage production.
Yes.
Everything that goes in.
Can I see behind the curtain? Like, what's going on?
You guys can't even
back
enjoy
there?
things anymore. You're just like, man, you're just breaking everything down. And I was like, how do they make that work? A coordination from one set to the next.
It's
And
true.
You appreciate.
Always trying to open the door, the back door
Yeah.
to look at the back. I'm always trying to get in somewhere I'm not supposed to be, you know?
It's beautiful. Like, it's so beautiful. And you understand the connection between the team, because you're like, oh, I get it. In order for them to function that
Where
way,
you see not
it's
just Trailer,
orchestrated.
one artist ends and they have like the crazy stuff on the stage, and then 20 minutes later it's a whole new set.
That stuff is fascinating, honestly.
Same. It's like, y'all know how to do it, but the coordination's
We're very much behind the scenes people. Like, it's like there's so much beauty going on back there. It's great to be a part of. being in front of that is a whole different, like that's whoever, I mean, coordinators or like even musicians or DJs or photographers that are there during that time, that's a whole different world.
Yeah, the practice, especially because of the YouTube live stream, no, especially at Coachella, but like they do the camera work and everything they do, it's coordinated because they know it's gonna be streamed to millions of people. So they're not only performing for the 50,000 people that are there, it's like they know that our camera it's millions and millions of impressions. So they have weeks ahead of time. They're preparing. Each artist has its own like practice. So the sets with the cameras and everything. Like, and then that's every single set, different stage at the same time. It's just,
That's a whole art in itself, you know? Yeah, that's great.
and then also, what's the next step for you guys? Like, what are you guys like excited about? What's the next frontier that you guys want to tackle? Just keep growing, get more business, or what was it?
There's a lot, actually. That's a loaded
I
question.
don't know. I think for the near future, our mind is set on just moving to the next market. We do a lot of business in LA right now and San Diego, Temecula. So, I mean, we've thrown the idea of another office out there and really trying to tap into that market a little more than we have.
I think expanding. I think we've worked so hard. I mean, you go through phases, right? You go through chapters, and I think that we've dedicated maybe like 2 really solid years to creating systems and processes for what we do. And I think that we're getting to a point where we're much more efficiently than we did a year ago, like 2 years ago, 3 years ni se diga. Like it's just a whole different company. But I think just expanding and tapping into markets that maybe we can be more creative with, or like do bigger events. I know that this area is small and mighty, but there's markets that are much larger that have that have a lot more that we can dive into. But we do want to, like, we're constantly expanding our inventory, so like it's always our inventory. We're looking to build a new
warehouse. Yeah, we have a new warehouse in the works, so it should be up hopefully by the beginning of next year. Yeah. So excited for that. It's been a few years in the making, but it's going to give us a lot more room to fill with shit.
More room for activities.
But no, we're excited. It's something that we've been working on.
You guys work with Artistry Arena as well? I saw you guys did about Odessa.
Yeah, we did. We had a period where we were doing a lot of like activations, but I don't know, it just kind of withered away. But we had a great run.
We got to do some cool stuff for them.
Yeah,
yeah, that Odessa thing was really cool. Yeah. That was.
That show, you guys went to see that show?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was a great show. My God. Really cool. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Like I had heard Odessa and I knew some of their songs, but I guess I didn't understand like how it was more of like an experience.
It really was.
Yeah, it wasn't a song. It was like you just had to go with the buildup of everything. I walked out of there.
No, she skipped out of there.
I flew.
Literally, like.
Yeah, I was probably on a favorite concert last week.
That was really cool.
Great.
Some of the guest performers, and then they're playing all the instruments. It's like EDM, but they're playing every instrument.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah, that's one of those shows where you just feel it. You can feel the energy. Yeah, that was fun.
There's been a lot of good shows at Acrisure.
There have.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah, and it's nice that you just get to like hop over and then hop back. And
That's just so it's sad. Before he had to drive to LA, you're like falling out onto the hotel and I lose half a day. Or drive back at fucking 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Drunk and that we got him for. But yeah, having an arena here is just let's just make it simple.
now I think more late night, like bars or restaurants, or like more like nightlife, so you can do something after Acrisure, because it's like you get out and you're like, where are we going? And
A few shows, at least the last few months, I've seen people promote like after sponsor shows. Yeah, and some in Palm Springs, some here in Palm Desert stuff, but mostly from Mexican artists. So.
more of that.
Yeah, well, that's what they've been bringing is just Mexican artists because they know their crowd.
They know the culture out here.
So what I heard is the first year they put 70%, or it was 30% were Hispanic acts, but then after they just look at the data, they just made way more beer sales, more everything on Grupo Firme, Grupo Artistry.
That's hilarious.
Year number 2, it was 70% Mexican and Hispanic acts. So this year, that's why it was like everybody came. Yeah, so data.
Wow.
You feed the people what they want.
Yeah, we've had the best time there. So yeah, for all kinds. I thought not just not just Hispanic like artists, but literally like every single time that we've been there, we've had a great time.
Inspiration, do you guys get inspired when you go to a concert, when you go to Coachella especially? Like, you feel inspired once you're there?
Oh my God, everything is an inspiration. I think just allowing yourself to play and to like, just like to, you know, not be so wound up. I think just like letting go and experience somebody's art in whatever way that is, either if it's like set design or if it's singing or lyrics or whatever it is, it's art. And we feel like what we do is also an art. You know, we feel like it's, and you could appreciate it in so many different ways. But no, we definitely feel like we get inspiration from that.
I think from everything, like how we can blend like everything into the world that we're in. Like playing with foods into like, we can make flower like centerpieces out of food. We could do this, we could do that. Like, it's really just having fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's how we can, like, the three of us mesh is like, I feel like they're more creative. Like, I don't feel like I'm creative whatsoever. I'm more like the mechanics. I
You
think
have
that's
the little one-hit words that just like...
I think that's what intrigues me more is the mechanics of things. You know, she'll wander off and like her mind goes and she will come up with these ideas and then they'll brainstorm and they're really good at that. I don't see myself as a creative, you know, and they'll come to me and like, oh, how can we do this? Okay, well, shit, let's figure it out. I can do this, and then between the three of us, we'll figure it out. But
you're
I think
you're creative in different ways, and I think you think of creativity as just like artistic like things, but there's a whole different side of you that I think is also very, very creative, and you don't give yourself enough credit for that, for sure.
2025 New Year's resolution. I'm tapping into that part of me. Yeah.
So how's the process of being creative, or like a client comes to you? Do they give you like a sample of what they want and you tell them, you come back to them with an idea, or how does the process work?
Yeah, there's a whole process, and we were talking about software earlier. We used to take notes and not share notes with our clients, and you know, sort of like, I mean, and I don't think that that's the norm either. But you're taking notes on the back end. But the way that we communicate, because the way that we communicate as a team to deliver a proposal is, you know, we have to be able to share what that meeting was about. And we were using a linear note, which is like your normal like notes, and it just wasn't working for us. And we just found this whiteboard and just developed that idea more. So we've created a 6-phase process, and very much like a whiteboard. It is linear, but there's room for like so much, and you could see everything. So from any first meeting with a client, we, for the most part, share our notes. And so as we're talking to them, we're sharing and communicating, and we're literally investing ourselves in that design as if it was already ours. Because if it isn't, then that's okay, and it wasn't meant for us, and it's okay that it goes. But if it does happen to be ours, it'll be the best fucking version of that event that had the potential to be. And we do that through just being open about it. You know, nobody's going to be able to take our notes and our ideas and deliver what we can deliver, and to the benefit or the disadvantage. So we're not saying that we're the best possible option, but there's somebody there should be a synergy between the client and us, and that's how we can figure out if this is the right pairing for both. And so we'll move forward into like our proposal review and our mock-ups, and so we'll do a sample, like a table, and we'll continue to talk. For the most part, the client has an inspiration, and then we'll develop that inspiration and contribute our part to that inspo, and then just continue to evolve it. And we provide a bunch of different things. So it could be as simple as like just flowers that we do, or it could be flowers and lighting and linens and drapery and arches and canopies and all of it. But it doesn't have to be everything. It could be very simple. And we don't just... Exactly. But we don't discourage or treat that client any differently than if you needed the full package. So I think that just allowing for that to happen organically, and we're just there and available for whatever the needs are, or whatever ideas need to be developed. Yeah. But I feel like that allows for, you don't have to sign on to this big old thing. You don't, like, it's not intimidating. You're just meeting needs, you know.
I feel like they come in different ways. Like some people just know exactly what they want and they just want to get a quote like for what exactly their vision. And some people are like, hey, like, I know you guys are creatives. You guys are, going to design everything. This is just kind of what I'm thinking. These are like just the basic information. It's like, what is your guest count? Like that kind of thing. So they know more or less like what to expect. Yeah. And then there's people that are like, I don't know what I want. I just know that I want you guys to do my event. And then that's it. It's like, these are my colors, or this is kind of, my theme is sunset. And you're like, great, we love that. And then you just kind of go off of that. So every client is a little different. I think learning, like, you know, even though Luna, like how she said she went to college and she was always like stuck in, or her head was in the business. She went to school for psychology. And it's like, she's like, I still use it, even though she wishes she went to art school. She's like, I still use psychology here. Like I have to read the clients and know what they want and know who they are and like kind of talk to them in a way and transform herself to like be their best friend and all the things.
And we have a genuinely good time. Like you're designing with somebody, and you like, I feel like we're involved in the best part of an event where people look forward to that part.
You're about what people see. You're in every photo. You're
So
gonna be,
mm-hmm.
and where you want to go to art school, or you wanted to go to art school?
I wanted to go to art school. I actually studied psychology, but it's literally couldn't have been
Two opposites.
the most perfect thing.
I feel like doing it raw like this is you create a better product.
Yeah.
So it's as if they teach you the rules, and then sometimes your head gets caught up in that. Now that you're just like, no, I could do anything. Like you say, I'm like, you do that shit.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
I do this.
I went to art school. I went to the Fashion Institute in LA, and I would come home with like my projects, and Luna would bring out like her bin of like crayons.
Is this what we're doing? It's off.
Yeah, she'd bring out like her bin of things, and she's like, so what are you making? And then she'd like sit there and like make all the things. She's like, I should have gone to art school. Like, I love
Still
this
does
stuff.
that shit with our kids too. She still does it.
Oh, she totally does. Like her kids have like some like video project and things, and she pulled out that Mila note board, and she's like, this is what we're gonna do for your art project. Like, and then they yeah. No, so then her middle son, he made the video, like they have to make a whole marketing video to sell like a product to like the rest of the kids at school. And they did a whole video. I missed when they did it. And the teacher uses that as like the example still, like years later.
I said hi.
Yeah.
We spent a whole Sunday filming this thing. We had the best time. I mean, we were in costume. There was lighting. We made a clapboard out of paper because we couldn't get the rest of everybody to shut up and like not ruin our shot. So it was so much fun. So then we edited it together, like mirrored our phone to the TV, and then had the kids pick like transitions, and we favorited the videos, and literally sat there and made this together. It was my middle son. It's like one of his favorite memories. Like Eclipse loves that, and so now our youngest, he had the same teacher, he has the same project, and so he's been told that the bar is set high for that project too. So we're gonna have to film again. Yeah.
We got some ideas already.
Yeah.
Kendrick inspired.
Oh my God. We literally have a whole brainstorming session. It's so fun. I can't wait to do that. That's gonna be fun.
And then, do you guys ever get like negativity? People talking bad things like that on social media, especially since you're posting so much and you reach a bigger audience. You're gonna get negative comments. How do you guys deal with that?
I don't know. I mean, you kind of like look the other way a lot of times, and you just kind of, I mean, there's only so much you can do, and I don't know. How do we deal with it?
I feel like the biggest negative comment we have is like the communication. Like it's just like, I sent Luna an email and I haven't heard back from her. It's like, well, also like she hasn't called like her kids if like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like she forgets. She's very like all over the place. So I think that's like the biggest thing. And it's like, if that's the biggest thing, then that's fine. Like, we're not worried. Like, she's owned up to it. She's like, yeah, I know my communication can be better, but honestly, like, this is fine.
Yeah, and not only that, like I am very comfortable with where I do invest my time. And if I'm not investing, or if I haven't gotten there, then maybe that's just not meant for me. That's not meant for us. But I really, really do my best. But if I'm okay with what wasn't and with what didn't happen, and that's totally fine. We're constantly working on our efficiency and our system, and so if it wasn't captured within that, then it'll be the next chapter where we can capture all of it. But right now, it's maybe our bandwidth we don't have it, and maybe it just didn't belong. So that's one of the things that I think that I had to really come to terms a long time ago. I think I've already sort of like healed from that, and like I don't care what they fucking say, like it's just gonna Like,
It is
I'm
what it
okay
is.
with it. It is what it is.
My bad. But that's basically, like, I think that's the biggest thing that we hear. Like, and if that's the biggest thing, we honestly, it's like, that's fine.
Yeah, I think once you entertain the negativity, it kind of becomes part of you. You kind of take some of that on, you know, and it's like, nah, why not?
We get
I don't want
so
that.
much. On the flip side, we get so much love. So I think that there's no way that you can focus on the negativity when there's so much love from so many different directions, that I think that is definitely overshadowed, and it doesn't feel. And I think that we are also not, like, we don't focus on that, and that's never been sort of like a central part of like why we do what we do. We're not thriving to prove somebody wrong. You know, like, we're like thriving because we're
Having a great some talent shit.
Yeah.
Getting some
So it-
product, pretty good energy. It's a lot of good energy.
Yep.
And then people could feel good energy.
Yeah.
You guys have good energy.
Yeah, we love that.
So do you.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it
Same.
back
I mean,
from me.
really, like, you know, we were talking about creating something that resonates and that feels like, you know, something, you're building something great. When we got the video back from our sister's birthday party, from Estrella's 30th birthday,
That was like 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
it was a long time
When we
ago.
did out at the ranch, remember? Yeah.
The 99 of the 2000s.
That party. It was such a great video.
The
that you-
wind. The wind then too, man.
Yeah. But it was such a great party, and the video that you put together for us was so good. You should have seen us watching it. I mean, there should have been, like, I know that now it's common to do like where you record yourself watching and you get to share that
The
with
reaction video?
your reaction. You should have seen our reaction video. It was as lit as the party. It was literally.
You read us so well though. You captured the video, and the way you did it was so like us. Like we really relived the party every time we watched it. It's like, yeah, this was happening.
And what better memory to have is to have that video to watch.
I can't wait to see your birthday party
Because
video.
videos, yeah, when you watch a video, it gives you back those some of the same feelings they had felt.
It really does.
So I record a lot of Coachella, so that's my main thing on YouTube is blog, helping people go to Coachella. So I do tip videos on like how to buy tickets, how to save money, where to stay, all the things that people don't make videos about. People just make videos on blogs, but then I started helping people, and then I go record, and I'm recording some of the sets, and then I'm editing the sets, and I'm just having so much fun editing. And not just making videos, but I'm having fun at the same time. So I'm living every single moment. I'm just like,
That's what it's about.
oh, that stage, oh, that performance. Just
And you're not doing it for anybody else, but just because you like really enjoyed that moment, and you're like, no, I'm gonna show people what this was.
That's so
all
awesome.
that great Gatsby videos are crazy, right? I'll show you guys some of the footage after. It's not done, but so we're making the official recap, and then I have a vlog that's like an extended version. I'll show you that one. There's some splits we gotta.
That's the screaming one. I was like,
He's
I'm too
definitely-
sober. Come back later.
I was too lit. I could have been a few degrees, but you know what? It is what it is. Yeah.
One open this kit.
Oh yeah, we brought you a little something, you know. No, but I hope you enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
Fit.
Our
Brand
team
new.
hat.
Yeah, those just came out.
Oh, it just came out.
Yeah, just launched.
Yeah.
I don't think we've even posted anything about those hats
No, we
yet.
really haven't. And our design
Everybody's
crew.
favorite,
Long
the
sleeve.
design crew,
Yeah, long sleeve crew shirt.
Yeah.
Design crew only. Star Wars 2020. That's actually pretty sick. Star Wars 2020.
Yeah. It says it.
You're hot time. You're rocking it out. We're in the next podcast.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, Established 2020 for sure was a moment for everyone. I feel like
Those 2 years were kind of like, it always feels like simulations in science. It's like 2020 to 2020. Everything's like cross, there's a blur.
it's just one weird year. It feels like 1 year.
Funny to think back about some of the shit you had to do, like those, 2020 and 2021. It's like, we talked about, we were in Mexico at the clubs, like you would have to step in the disinfectant before you would go into the restaurants. Remember, there was like a little tray of like whatever it is you stepped in to
remember
disinfect
being
your
sprayed with stuff,
shoes or be
too.
sprayed. And
Check your temperature.
oh yeah, check your temperature. Yeah,
Fucking point at thing. Step out in the store.
yeah. It's like it's a whole nother world, man.
No, it was a lot. And I think that part of our brand, Established 2020, really does resonate with in so many different ways, like with a company, but I'm sure like just starting something when you're really scared, not because it's like the easiest thing to do, but because it is the hardest thing to do, and not knowing, where, if you're trending in the right direction or if you're trending in the worst direction. But I think that really became I mean, that really is the soul of who we are, where you're doing it because you are out there and you want to, you're just killing it, I think that's 2020 is super meaningful to us.
I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you guys for joining today's episode. And where can people find you guys? Where's the website? What's social handles? We're going to put everything in the description.
Yeah, description, Luna Design Studios. You're currently promoting the shop at Luna Design by Luna Design Studios. That's, like I mentioned, it's our it's allowing our occasional arrangements to have more of a spotlight. A lot of times, on our main page, they just sort of they kind of get a little overshadowed with the bigger events and like the corporate events, but now having their own place to really shine. And I think more focus on behind the scenes on what happens inside our studio. That'll be a platform that we use to show more of that. But our website is amazing. Our social media is always active. We're on there. And everything that you see on there is curated by our team. And we put so much love and so much effort into everything that we do. It's very intentional. We hope that it resonates with who we are as a company or as individuals. Then you could see how everybody everybody that is there, you could see how their spirit really does shine through.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So anybody looking
Thank you so much for
have
having
a party
us.
or have a wedding or anything, come find us. We got you.